Almost forgot. Yo, this cam cracks me up.
Thinking that it happened overnight, it didn't. In it for the long haul flight, committed. Wanted me to fail out of spite, I didn't.
Boy, did I miss all of you. But we're back. Hope you had a wonderful holiday. I've been very busy. I was on a podcast on Sunday. Didn't have time to get the weekly report out. So we're pumping this one out a little bit late. And I having way too much fun with this new camera that tracks all my movement. Okay. Enough goofing off. Let's hop into the charts. So today was a great day and a weird market. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Let's first talk about what happened today, because we don't often do a lot of trade reviews like this. Okay, so market opens. I swung Amazon. Amazon's the first thing I'm looking at because I'm in weekly calls, right? And I can see that, hey, we got a gap up. We're in profits. These were down, I think 40%, maybe even worse than that. Heading into the close on Friday, we got a lot of bleed, but I was like, man, after a holiday, people usually like to come in and buy. That's exactly what happened. However, the relative weakness in SPY made me definitely close these on these pumps. I think we only got like 20 to 25% on those. But right at the open, the first thing that hit my radar that really wasn't on my radar, but I had an alert set up, lucky for me, was MU. We went ahead and played that, got to 125. We didn't get this gap up to 130, so I think we could look for this tomorrow. If we want to clear this high, this 127, maybe we can come in short term and play the rest of this gap up to 130. That would be really great. We saw something similar with AMD, which I also did play after we got the break above the 182, came in on this one. Both of these were, I think AMD was up 70% when I closed it, and then I came back in on the dip, opened some longer dated contracts to look for, see if this wants to make a rally all the way back up to previous highs, and that puts us at about 233. So this thing could really make a run for it, and I'll be keeping an eye on that. Now, NVIDIA is the concern here, as NVIDIA was a lot weaker than the other AI-related names, right? And so what we want to watch here on AMD is if we get this break of 891. I watched that, and I don't really like how far these gap downs become, okay? You get some support at 878. Even then, that's a $12 move. You could short that with some short-term contracts because it's likely going to plunge if it does break that critical level. And then you got a fat gap down to 851. And then you have this pretty spooky area where you could likely chop, or you might see it drop all the way down back to 800. Pretty concerning, but it is an interesting short. Now, if you don't want to short NVIDIA, you don't want to short the king of the market. I also really like ARM as a short. However, ARM showed really strong relative to the rest of the market and relative to NVIDIA as well. Why? Who knows? This is kind of becoming a cult stock. I think it has the weakest fundamentals for the AI related names, but people love it. And so I'm not going to disobey the chart. I'm not going to come in early on this. As you can see on that dotted line, my short did not trigger, but I will come on and short this name if it starts to give out. So let's talk about the funny business in the market today. SPY below 522 is a signal for me to probably look for 520, maybe 518. And so we actually did make a short, very short-term short on SPY, got out real quick. But I was looking at the rest of the market, and I was like, I think I want to pause a little bit and kind of wait to see how this plays out, because we kind of had the short signal trifecta with the market being relatively sturdy, okay? TLT melted straight down pretty much all day, basing around 92. We had DXY pumping. This is like dollar milkshake theory, right? Bonds down, dollar up, usually is a signal of rate hikes. And then you also had VIX pumping above 14 today as well. Now, I ended up giving that up, but DXY didn't give up. And TLT kind of bounced back, couldn't even reclaim 93. This is very interesting to me. It's something I want to see play out. If we hadn't heard the Fed come out and say we're no longer doing rate hikes, I would think that this is the market trying to price in a rate hike. And what this probably likely is this strong manufacturing data that we got. Manufacturing data has been really weak. It's been coming below expectations for a while now. And now all of a sudden we're getting these signals that, hey, the economy could be roaring back without a Fed cut. Okay, and keep in mind that this means that inflation could come back, which the market's no longer trying to price in hikes. I think it's trying to price out cuts. I think the stronger for longer narrative, it could persist. We might see expectations for a June cut even start to fall off at this point, which is going to be really interesting to see how it reacts. Now, I don't think this is truly a short signal, though, because I mean, everything's still great. Now, that said, I'm going to follow the charts. When we're looking for key levels, if the market does want to turn over, we're going to follow the price action and we're going to get short, okay? It's very easy in environments like this to let your biases get in the way. You've done research on this or that, and you think that there's this thing we need to be worried about or that thing to be worried about. I'm just going to follow the price action. Too many times in the past has me trying to sculpt my ideas into the market let them get slaughtered, so we don't do that, all right? Now, here's another thing that I wanted to talk about, and that's Eli Lilly. Now, we talked about this when it comes to their drug products, Ozempic and Wegovy, but we haven't actually talked about the company. Now, there's some other plays in this market that I like right now, and that is Viking Therapeutics is one of them that recently also made it a competitive drug, another weight loss drug. This thing had a nice pop. I came in and bought the dip, and we're seeing it kind of give up some gains as well. We're seeing the Eli Lilly is too. Now, if we're thinking about these drugs in the way that, okay, you have probably about a 200 billion total addressable market is kind of what I've been seeing the estimates for when it comes to weight loss. Okay, that's a big market, right? There's three major companies right now. We've got a few years till generics can hit the market and try to do some disruption here. But the thing that I'm looking at is this company has a $720 billion market cap. And that is it trying to price in the idea that, oh, these drugs are way more than just weight loss. They're going to help you get rid of all your bad habits. They're going to help you stop drinking too much and stop smoking so much. And it's going to be the cure-all for all your bad habits. That's not proven and yet. So there's lots of theses. There's lots of anecdotes that this is what it can be used for. That's not really going to play out until we can have a doctor be able to recommend it. And for that to be the case, we would need tons of research to come out and say that, oh, it does do all these things. And even then, we really still haven't seen what the long-term repercussions are, because you kind of have to do a live trial with it. You have to have people take it for 2 decades, and then you find out, oh, that one sucks. And you know, that's what happened with SRIs, right? All these antidepressants. And then another shout out to MindMed, which is another company that I love that's going to disrupt that market, crush it. So the game plan with Eli Lilly might be to come in and try to see if we can catch some of these sharp moves to the downside. I've been trading this stack a lot. I've been also trying to play the sector to the upside. But now that more names are starting to enter the marketplace, we're hearing some rumors of some smaller companies that are close to some breakthroughs as well. I think it's time for this one to have a retracement. You know, we added over 300 billion to the market cap of this company on the approval of Ozempic. I know there's other drugs in the pipeline, so I'm just looking at the relative change to the new drug addition, right? And it's greater than the total addressable market. Most estimates, there's some crazy estimates out there for it. So I'm thinking this thing's probably gotten a little carried away, and I'd like to catch a short-term retracement. I would be in and out of these so fast, because the overall greater sentiment here is still way to the upside. So I'd like to short this for a quick move to the downside and maybe get long. I don't really know. It would have to come back considerably for me to really get bullish on it, especially since I already have one in my portfolio that I think is pretty good, that I think is actually undervalued relative to the other price appreciations that we've seen from names in the sector of weight loss. I guess it's this whole sector now, whatever, the pharmaceuticals. So another play that I'm looking at is going to be FXI. This is China. A lot of people in the Discord, or some people rather, did not like this play. That's fine. Not everything that I do is what you should do, and you shouldn't blindly copy any traders. If you don't like the plays, don't take the plays, right? I'm following the technicals here. We can see that our TTM is firing to the upside, and the weekly is firing to the upside as well here. This is purely a technical play. Call it a dead cat bounce if you want. Some people are thinking, oh, China's doing so awful. I mean, yeah, we've seen the awfulness. This is down over 50% since 2021. So yeah, that's been reflected, I mean, way over 50% since 2021. So it's been reflected here. Okay. It's not like it's in smooth sailing. And I think a lot of the bad news has been priced in. I don't think China's going to completely self-destruct and no longer be a country at all. Not that I'm going to be an investor here. We've made trades like this before. We've made some minor profits. And so I'm going to make another attempt at this. If we do get some interest rate cuts, it'll also benefit them. That also gives us time to talk about IWM, which is also sending some very strong signals. We had a retracement here, but I think this is an opportunity to get back in long. We made some money on this name last week as it was outperforming the other indexes. I would not be surprised if IWM, because it's the leading index, for a few months after the price action that we've been seeing. And I mean, if we look at this monthly keeps firing to the upside on our TTM as well. And usually when it does that, when it starts to fire the upside, it continues up. That's when you get these huge rallies. And we can see we're coming out of multi-year consolidation here for our small cap names. I think it's time for them to have their day in the sun. So that's pretty exciting to see. There's going to be a lot of opportunity in those small names as well. Things like Roblox are going to be back on my radar. Maybe Unity will be back on my radar. So I'm pumped for it. So make sure you join the Discord, check out the new website.